Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is January 28th, 2026. This is going to be walk 518 and it is 11 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so I just want to start off by telling you guys this is going to be a weird story. Okay, it might not even make sense by the time I'm done with it. And also, we have a 5-minute credit for today's video, so the walk is only going to be 35 minutes. Hopefully I'll remember that as we get closer to that time. Okay, so as I always say, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this treadmill to actually work, and then I will get right into it. Okay, I think that's, 14. Here's 15. And, whoops, wrong way. All right, let's speed up. Okay, that's 2.3. Let's give it a couple seconds before I take it up to 2.5. Okay, that's 2.5. So let's see if this will continue to keep going. I'm not going to walk for a second time today. I have some other stuff that I've been putting off, and I really need to get to it. It'll be really beneficial to us. You guys, I have to hop on those surveys for those points for the flights. Behind is not even the word. Okay, so since I'm caught up with my work, as you guys know, I work from home. Now I can devote my time to that and finish up laundry and stuff like that. But I thought I at least need to come out here and walk once. I didn't remember that I had a topic until probably about 10 minutes ago. Okay, so here's the crazy story. I have no clue what happened yesterday. I'm going to try to explain this in the order that it happened. Okay, so I don't know if I experienced a time loop, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, excuse me, my nose is starting already. What's so crazy is, it is cold in here, but it's warm outside. So I don't think the two are really working together very well. You know what? I might have to credit us 3 minutes and then take care of my face. We'll see. I might actually have to stop my treadmill for a second and go do that and come back. But I don't know, maybe my nose just feels cold. Okay, so I don't know if I experienced a time loop, some type of time travel. I don't know. And I always say, if you know me, I know that you're going to try to give me some words of encouragement, but it doesn't change the event that already took place. Okay, And of course, just think about me in this situation, the fact that I can't explain what happened, and I just know that it did. Okay, like I said the other day, I'm not crazy. Okay, so yesterday I did my walk. Okay, let me see if that helps. I don't know. Today was trash day. Usually I wait to bring the trash can in until after I finish walking completely for the whole 80 minutes, but I didn't. So that might not be helping. I don't know. Yeah, I can smell it. Okay, but anyway, so I finished the first walk. Now, from what I remember, okay, so I don't know if this would be called losing track of time. Not like the normal explanation of what that means. I have no idea what to call this. I don't even know what to title this video. Okay, so from what I remember, I said bye to you guys, got my bottle. I thought I took my paper and my pen and took the paper inside. Okay, I started the walk at 10:13 a.m. You guys can go back and check the video, okay, from yesterday. So I go inside and I realize I did not write, it was either the time that I started or I know for sure the time that I ended. And I thought, okay, well, I remember saying 10:13 and I know I walked for 45 minutes. So I'll just count, right? This should work out. And I can look at the clock. There's two, one in the microwave, one in the oven below it. Now, the microwave clock, I can see the numbers, but it's hard for me to make them out from where I was standing. But the oven clock, the numbers are bigger, so I can see it just fine. I look at the clock, and I kid you not, it said 10:13. How would it have been 10:13 a.m. when that's when I started walking? So it's not registering that that's what it says. I'm thinking in my mind, okay, 10:13 is what I said. I'm counting, that'd be like 10:58, right? Well, then it dawns on me, I look back at the clock again, it still says the same time. And I'm like, hold on. It can't be 10:13 right now. That's what time it was when I started the walk. So I started to try to figure out what happened, because I also had to write the time for when I was going to start the second walk. And my plan was to give myself some time. Now I'll do my edit for my video. You know, I add the date, the topic title. But now I've been doing that out here because it takes about 10 minutes for my camera app. I think because of the amount of time the video is, how long it is. And so I'm like, that 10 minutes I could have been walking, and at least I'll know what time it is because it doesn't come up on our TV out here. So that's a habit I've started getting into doing. Instead of doing the edit, plugging up the phone, actually starting the upload, and coming back out here without anything that has a time on it. I said this will be easier. And then when I start and stop the second walk, I got my phone, I can just look at the time. So I said, okay, maybe I'm seeing things. I don't know. But what time do I think I'm gonna start walking? I'm thinking, well, your phone should still be out there, whatever. So like I said, this is difficult to explain. So I think from what I remember, I figured it out and I said, okay, let's look at it this way. If it really is 10:13, then, and I don't know if I, by this time it came out here, got my phone and walked back in. Okay. Then I didn't start at 10:13. And by this time, I know that I had my phone, whether I had brought it in initially or came back out and got it, because I had done an edit and it was already saving. So I had to cancel. This is the first edit. It was going to be the only edit before the upload. I canceled it. I took white out. I whited out the starting time. I had already put 10:50 in the paper. And I went back onto the video. I'm still in the camera app. And where I said 10:13 on the video, I put 9:13. And then I pushed save again. So now we're doing the second edit. Okay, everything's fine. I gotta top off my water bottle. No, I don't have to use restroom. I'm thinking, right? Then I'm gonna take the paper, the pen, the phone, and my water bottle and go back out and start the second walk. So I'm thinking, wait a second. You have cameras. So pick one. It should have caught you somewhere. And see, what time was it? Sure enough, I did start the walk at 10:13. I said, go back to that time of footage. Okay, here's the problem. I have already, I think at this point, the video, I had already started uploading it. And so, and it took me about 30 to 45 minutes to do all of this, right? I said, okay, here's the problem. If I was still in the app, I could have pushed cancel. I could have went there and I could have taken 9:13 off, left the rest of the edits, pushed save. This will be the third edit. And at this point, I'm so frustrated. I'm like, in my phone is running out of battery enough to where I need to go ahead and do it the way I usually do it. So I need to start the upload. So I think well, let's see, I have to wait 10 minutes, right? I remember starting to upload again. So I think waited the 10 minutes. That way I could go ahead and start the upload. At this point, I'm just gonna leave the phone in there. I'm just gonna go out there, have a nice peaceful second walk. I have so much stuff to do. I'm in a hurry. I don't care. You know what? I don't even remember if I topped off my water bottle yet. If I hadn't, by this time I went and did it. So I'm remembering back and I'm doing the app title. You know how they changed it? You have to click show more, right? If you upload a video to do the like no altered content, stuff like that. I want to make sure because every time they add this new stuff, you're able to go back into any video and do it. Don't forget it's not paid promotion, right? I always put the description. Sometimes, for some reason, it'll make me start over, but I'm already in the YouTube app trying to upload the video. So none of that happens. Title, description, all of it. Thumbnail, boom, upload. All right, cool. Still don't have to use restroom. All right, well, look at the time now, and do you want to take your phone, or now that you're kind of calm, or leave it in the house, plugged up to charge and to upload? So it's closer to the router. I'm trying to decide. And I thought back, and I've convinced myself, I thought about it and I said no. It had to have said 11:13. It had to have. 10:13 to 10:58. I got all the stuff, went in, put the paper on the counter. When I looked, it had to have said it. I'm trying to convince myself it did not say 10:13 after I walked for 45 minutes. So then I got to thinking, let's just say, we're gonna go with scenario 2. Let's just say it did say 11:13. I thought, okay, we're back to this 10:13 starting time. All right, I mean, I looked at the cameras. It's matching what I said. I even went to the video. You know, once you upload it, you can go to the video on your phone, like from the file, and look at it. Within 15 seconds, 20, let's say 25 seconds, I said 10:13. Okay, good. I don't have to do a fourth edit. I said, then what happened? Think of the same thing. Got the paper, got the pen, got the bottle, walked out of here, put everything on the counter, realizing that you need to put the time. And at first, maybe you did leave your phone out here, which is what made you look at the clock on the oven anyway. And let's say it did say 11:13, so let's count. With the 45-minute walk, and then when I got ready to stop the video, it said 49 minutes, 2 seconds. I do remember that. I thought I pushed stop. I remember I had it. I was like, oh, what happened? Because you know when you push stop, you see the red circle again to record again. I see the black circle, and then I see, I think the 2 lines like to pause, right? Oh, okay, so I just didn't stop the video. Stop. It still was in the 49-minute part. It had not reached 50 minutes. So we'll say 49 minutes, let's say 10, maybe 15 seconds. Okay, so 45 and 49, the difference is 4 minutes. 10:58, let's add 4 minutes, right? 59, 11, 11:01, 11:02, that's 4 minutes. I went inside and sat everything down. When I looked at the clock, it said 11:13. Well, from 11:02 to 11:13, that's 11 minutes, right? I'm thinking about this. Still trying to convince myself it did not say 10:13. I said, but that's 11 minutes. It does not take 11 minutes for me if I just pick up all this stuff and walk inside. I'm looking out of the RV garage door. I can see the front half of my 2-car garage, and I can see the door you walk into to go in the house right now from where I'm at. The counter is not that far away. Okay, that wouldn't take 11 minutes. Where did the time go? So Oh, we're 19 minutes, 15 seconds. Here's where it gets strange. You're like, that's not strange enough? I make the mistake of checking another camera. Here's what it shows actually happened. Not what I remember. Except for at some point, seeing 11:13 on the oven clock. So, apparently, I walked in and I don't think I had, let's see, I know I have my water bottle. I know that for a fact. From what I can remember, okay, keep in mind, I'm trying to remember from me rewatching this yesterday. I should have rewatched it today to see if it showed the same thing. I don't think I had the paper either, or my phone. I walked in, I did not set my water bottle down. Instead, I'm trying to think. I sat it down on the other side of the counter, the other part. I had to blow my nose. I did stop and look at the clock. Go figure. And there's no camera close enough for me to check that to see what did it show. So I'm watching the time on the clips of the camera. I go around, I get a paper towel, I blow my nose, I'm tired. I sit the water bottle down by the pitcher. Well, first I wash my hands. The soap that we use, we get it from a specific place, and it's a natural soap. And I'm trying to determine if we're gonna go back to ordering from them because it's expensive when you don't have a membership. So that should have made me go to the bathroom in our room to wash my hands. But I did it because we have a soap dispenser that's automatic. And I always wash my hands after I blow my nose. So I went to the sink and I washed my hands, got a paper towel, dried my hands off, threw the paper towel away. Then I think I refilled the water bottle. I walked back around to the part of the counter where I usually come in and set everything at. Even for the second walk, I laid my towel on a chair. I put my paper up on the book that it came out of because it's from the customizable notebook. My keys, I'll put them on the side of the workout, the customizable book, right? That's usually the habit, even from the second walk. The bottle of water goes there because now I can just wash my hands, eat my blueberries, eat my pecans, go shower. I have a routine, right? Well, I came back around with the bottle, and when, at this point, I thought, okay, the paper, so okay, 11:13, 10:13, whatever time I saw. I remember standing there, I think taking a sip. And then it shows me coming back out to here. And I'm kind of talking out loud, thinking out loud about some stuff. And that time was 11:15 on the camera clips. I said, okay. This is awkward. I come back in. Now I have the paper. And I'm holding it. I sit it down. And I'm sitting there. And you can tell, this is when I was going over the time. Like, what happened? Why did the clock say this? So that's okay. Here it says on the clip, 11:20. This is actually when you thought you saw the 10:13. Okay. I'm convincing myself it did not say 11:13. I said, okay, let's just say it did. According to the clip, it's actually 11:20. So then I go and get my phone, or actually I think I went, not to get this phone I'm recording with. I have a backup phone because I thought, how am I going to be able to tell the time? I don't wear a watch when I walk. And so I thought, okay, well, if this is when I started doing all these edits on the paper and the phone, then that's why I went and I looked where I usually set it. And at some point, it had shown me walking into our room. I said, what would I have been looking for? I said, oh yeah, don't you remember you went in there? And I thought, no, I didn't. And I said, well, I'm holding something. Let me see if I can see it. I said, oh, okay. I needed the other phone just for the time. So that's what I'm holding. That's why I sat on the counter. And I could tell because it's wider than the Fold 2 when it's closed. Plus remember, the Fold 2, which is what I record with, is uploading. So I said, okay, I'm going to take this out with me. Now, the second walk started at 11:48. I wrote it down. And apparently, I remember having to change the time. There's white out there. So I thought, oh, I'm going out a little bit later than I expected. So I remember changing it to saying that. That's okay, if I hurry up, I'm not going to have to change it anymore. Now, on the clip, I'm still in the house. And I don't know, maybe because I took sips out of my water bottle, I don't know if I went to fill up again. But here's the thing. I know for a fact it was 11:48, the second walk start time. What I was trying to figure out was, where did the time in between, let's say, 11:25 and 11:48 go? I had to be on the camera footage at some point somewhere. So I said, keep watching this one, let the clips keep going. So I remember I was still kind of thinking out loud talking, and I remember seeing me walk around a little bit. I want to say I went back over to get my emergency, like the extra phone thing, right? How I could use it for its time. And so I think I decided that's okay. I don't care what time it is, so long as the time of the paper for when I start the second walk is correct. I can look at the microwave, or if I walk by it, or the oven from here, the clock. So I had walked back to that chair where I laid this on top of the towel. And I'm still kind of thinking out loud about some stuff. And I'm thinking, was I sitting there just thinking out loud about this stuff? You can like hear me on the camera talking. And no, I didn't see anyone. I wasn't talking to anyone. I do remember I was upset. And so it was like, you ever think about a conversation you're having with somebody and then you kind of just, you're like thinking out loud and stuff like that? Well, I do remember that, and I do remember what it was, because this is something that's been bothering me for like a month, on and off. And I said, but did it really take you 15 or 20 minutes to go back out there? I mean, let's say last year you remember 11:25 to 11:48. That's over 20 minutes. That's like what, 23, 22 minutes, something like that, whatever. So I have no clue, like, what happened. Okay, and I'm thinking, well, you had to edit the actual recording, not once, not twice, but 3 times. 1, the normal edit, and also I talked about the underwriting department, so I edited that in the same edit. Then the second time I went back in, added 9:13, where I said 10:13, because I had to have seen 10:13 because I thought, oh wow, it's way earlier than I thought. It must have been 9:13 when I started, right? So that was the second edit. The third edit came after I looked at some of the cameras and said, no, for sure, it was 10:13. So since I had already saved it and already started uploading, I had to actually stop the YouTube upload, right? Remember? I had to go to the actual video. I had to revert it back to the original, add in just 2 of the edits, the day, the title, underwriting department. Don't put it in 9:13 because it was 10:13. Okay, let it save and restart the upload. And the first upload, I remember, had made it to 51%. And I remember thinking, oh man, my video's uploading pretty fast. Well, it wasn't 9:13. It was 10:13, regardless of what you saw on that clock. Look at what you said. Look at the cameras. There's the proof. So there's a lot of whiteout on the start time for the first walk. But I really sat there and watched the footage from the other camera to see, after I did all those edits, from what I saw, I think I only came out here once. So maybe it was to get the paper, because I already had the water bottle. Now, here's the odd thing. I may have explained this incorrectly in the beginning of this walk. You ready for this? I do remember this. Half of what I've told you is from memory. The other half is from me realizing yesterday and today I tried to convince myself this did not happen. I don't know what I'm going to do if I watch the footage again and actually see this. Do you know, from what I can remember, the footage from inside the house does not show me topping off my water bottle. I specifically remember doing it. I can't usually go through these walks without, like right now I'm doing really well. I did have some sips a little earlier in this walk. But for the second walk, if I would drink a lot of water on the first, I do need it for the second. Then I thought, no. I said, go back and look at the footage. It has to show you filling your water bottle up. Your pitcher, Brita filter pitcher, sits in the same spot. I said, no, it only shows you going to the kitchen, blowing your nose, washing your hands. That's it. It shows you with the water bottle at that same spot by that chair, taking a sip out of it. So these clips, I don't know if they're like 30-second increments, but it could literally take, I think, 2 clips to equal 1 minute. So I think unless you go to like a list, click on a specific clip, if you're scrolling back and forth, every blue piece, I think it's only 30 seconds. So I said, there's no way it could have missed me doing that. Then I thought, you know what, forget it. So I have no idea what happened. Okay, I have an idea. I just thought about it. We're actually out of time if I use the credit. Okay. And of course, I will add this or make this a new credit because we're getting ready to be at 36 minutes and I said 35, right? Okay. So like I said, time loop, time travel. I don't know how to explain it. I think if we had like one more camera that could have shown, and it might have picked up if it was close enough, the microwave, clock, and the oven, being that one is above the other. But the footage from inside is way too far away. You can see me, you can hear me, and you can see certain objects, but that's about it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, first let's go through the time. So 36 minutes, 49 seconds. And I'm gonna go ahead and make it a 2-minute credit. And since I'm not gonna walk a second time, I'll try and remember for tomorrow. So 37 minutes, 1.49 for distance, 161 calories. Okay, here's my plan. I'm gonna need you guys' help. Okay. My treadmill has gone back to all zeros. As you can hear, it's lowering down. I am going to do something I usually don't do. I am going to, hopefully I won't accidentally stop the video. I might accidentally flip it toward me, but I'm going to check the time. I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to write it down on the paper. Okay, let me go check. Okay, so I see 39 minutes and 9 seconds, and it's still counting. 11:39. a.m. Okay. So now we know what time it is. And I'm thinking the treadmill said 37 minutes, just barely over. And so do we think that it took 2 minutes for the treadmill to lower, for me to explain what I was going to do because I was explaining part of it while it was lowering, and for me to walk over, tell the time, and then to come back over here? Could that really have been 2 minutes? All right. Next thing we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I hope you guys have a good walk and a good rest of your day. And I am going to actually say how many minutes is showing on the camera before I stop the recording. And I'm going to repeat, well, not repeat, I'm going to say the time. Okay? And then what I'm going to do, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking no, I was going to pause the video. I'm going to keep it running. I'm going to keep the camera, my phone running right now. Like I said, state stuff I told you. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to tell you what time it says on the clocks. The microwave and oven should match. And I'm going to come back out here and say the time again. Okay, so we're going to keep the camera rolling and we're going to see because I'm like, what happened? Okay, here I go. Ready? Okay, so the clock is at 41 minutes and 44 seconds. It says 11:42. Okay, so on the microwave and the oven, it said 11:41. And then before I started walking back out here, the microwave clock changed to 11:42. The oven clock stayed at 11:41. And right now it says on the phone, 11:42. Remember when I said if the clock said that it was 11:13 a.m., it does not take me 11 minutes to walk into the house? I mean, all I had to do was take like 4 or 5 more steps and I'd have been right there by that chair. The chair's not that far away from when I come in. Okay, so the chair is closer. I just walked close enough to see the microwave and the oven time because like I said, the numbers on the microwave are smaller than the numbers on the oven. And then you guys saw when I came back out here, from what I remember, it was the same time, right? Didn't I say 11:42 when I walked in, like when I walked away? Okay, so I don't know why those clocks are behind, but the clock on the microwave didn't take long to turn to that. And when I came back out, it was still 11:42, right? So it doesn't even take me a minute to walk into the house, is my point. So I have no clue what happened. I'm going to go ahead and go. If anything else weird happens, I'm going to take notes. And I'm going to look at more than one clock and I'm going to put what clock I looked at, what time it was, and what happened. And I'm going to check a second clock, like on my phone or something, and then put, oh, on my phone it was this time, and I did this. And then if I check any footage, I'm going to say, okay, I checked, cameras inside the house, outside, whatever, in here. When I say outside, I mean in here. And then we're going to see if the rest of this day goes like yesterday morning, because that was weird. All right, you guys, like I said, I hope you guys have a great day. And if you guys have any odd stories like that and you want to share them with me, then let me know. All right, you guys, be good. See you later. Bye.